Again, it's Cheltenham Festival time. It's day one of the Cheltenham Festival. Day one in the SO world is the best day by far because all 13 races are from Prestbury Park. We've got the Champion Hurdle and the Queen Mother, plus a whole host of other brilliant races to look forward to today. And what we're going to do now is we're going to hear from Stu Gray, and then a little bit later on we'll be hearing from Paul Parsons to see what they think are the horses that are most likely to be passing that winning post first.
G'day fellow trainers, it's your favourite Aussie-based commentator coming to you live from Perth, Western Australia with my take on day one of the Cheltenham Festival. First up, of course, is the Supreme Novices Hurdle, and it's hard to look past My Charge Desert Mist. Comes in with good form, with 3 wins in the last 4 starts, and the going suits. Expecting danger to come from the David Hooley pair, First Home and Donny Bell, the top-rated Corridor of Power, while, of course, you can never count out Vinny or Josh. Outside place chances for Fine Melon and Irish Gem. Second race, the Arkle Norris Chase, is shaping up to be a Joshua Sutherland 1-2. Take your pick from either the Worm or the Slam. Outside chances for Grey Tricks, 6th Gear, and either of my 2, Buffalo River and Bucket List. The Ultima Handicap is next, for horses who aren't quite good enough or won't stay the trip for the Gold Cup. It would appear that the Widow will be carrying too much weight for Joshua Sutherland, so expect the winner to come from one of the bottom weights. Looks wide open, this one. Hard to really pick a winner. Big race of the day, of course, is the Champion Hurdle. That comes next. A large field this year of 17 runners. Top trainers, Joshua Sutherland, Vinnie Gerard and David Hooley all saddle 2 runners each. Take your pick from any of those, plus the top-rated Pollen Venezia. But for me, it's Fast Response, who I think will take home the crown. Race 5 is the Glenfarclas Handicap. A hit out for maybe some Grand National hopefuls. The field looks wide open, but expect Wasted Sunset for Martin Leadham and Seek and Destroy for David Hooley to be battling it out, with outside chances for Persian Tiger, Hot Springs Winds and Mezzotint. Next up is the David Nicholson Mares Hurdle, another one of the big hurdle races of the week, with Ace Queen and Cripple Creek Treat the top fancies. Plenty of chances outside of that, with Victory Coup and Futona the best of the rest. The Close Brothers Novices Handicap is another race that looks wide open. Like the chances of my horse Rough Draft, got his pulled up injury out of the way last week, although the ground could be against. Other top contenders are Stakeholder, Zara Dash, Crossguard Cadeau and Sensational Hills. Plenty of chances in the Neptune Investment Novices Hurdle. John Morgan's Wally Wombat tops the list and likes the going, while Josh's 2, Cause for Concern and Welcome to the Jungle, and the Daniel French Cardona Fleet will provide the main challenges. The RSA Novices Chase looks to be another with top chances for top trainer Joshua Sutherland as he saddles the Substitute and the Shuttle. David Hooley's CU is a consistent performer, as is stablemate Follow Your Dream, while John Morgan's Listen Timmy and My Scarlet Dawn will be in the mix too. This is shaping up to be quite a good race. The Coral Cup Handicap sees Horse of the Year contender Persian Princess going for a 7th win on the trot. Could well be the biggest certainty of the week. Outside chances for Meet Me at the Pub and Cripple Creek Logic, with Beach Lady and Copper Comic also in with a chance. Seems to be a lot of the top 2.5 mile hurdlers are either in the David Nicholson Mares Hurdle or are racing on day 2 at Far Hills in the Grand National Hurdle. But for me, you can't go past Persian Princess. Big jumps race of the day is the Queen Mother Champion Chase, the standout being the Joshua Sutherland trained The Pretty Boy. He won't have it all his own way though, with the John Morgan pair Frosted Oats and Mrs. Bat looking to have very good chances. Expect the race to be hot, with my horse emerging near the front along with the John Morgan pair, which should set it up nicely for Mrs. Bat to take the win. The Year of the National Hunt Chase looks to be wide open. Stu Gray's Zoo City Girl is a consistent sort, who could lead home a commentary team 1-2 with Martin's Nicholas Silver in second. Final race of the day is the Fred Winter Juvenile Handicap Hurdle for those not good enough for the Triumph Hurdle later in the week. Not a lot of good form for any of these, so I'll back my horse Turn Me Loose for his maiden win ahead of the Daniel French trained Super Bowl. So best of luck to everyone, and I'll catch you tomorrow for more insights.
Opener, Supreme Novices, going to be David Hooley for sure, and I'll go for First Home. Arkle, probably Josh Sutherland's The Worm or the Slam. The Ultima, unfortunate. Most of them are going to be running out the handicap here with the Widow in there. The Widow's not going to win off of top weight. The rest of them will be carrying 9 stone 12. So I'll go for John Morgan's Mr. Mulligan. Race 4, the Champion Hurdle. Again, bit of a bigger field here. There's a few down the bottom that you could look at. Maybe Chieftain Maker of Derek Hinton's. But I would have thought it's either going to be Cripple Creek Skipping. See, we can't even get that right and we comment all the time. It's got a good chance and maybe fast response from David Hooley. Sorry, David, tipped up a couple of yours so far. Glenn Farkless. Well, pretty wide open, but Persian Tiger for Darren Thompson will probably take that one. After that, we've got the David Nicholson Mares Victory Coup for Daniel French. Good luck. 7, Close Brothers Handicap Chase. A little bit more open here. I've got a couple of runners. Prince Lopez will be my favourite bottom weight, but he's up against some more decent stakeholder top weight for Daniel French. Probably not a top weight. Craig Beckwith Take Control. Always surprises at Cheltenham, but I'm going to go for Mind Your Head for Martin Leedham. Well done, Martin. Good luck in that one. The Neptunes follows, and it's Wally Wombat for John Morgan there. Race 9, the RSA. Going to go to one of Josh's horses, probably the Substitute or the Shuttle. I'd like to listen to Timmy to take it, but I think I'll go for the Shuttle to surprise everybody. Coral Cup's up. After that, small field, but you've got a 6-time winner here, running off 125, which is Daniel French's chaser, should I say. But that is I think he's won 4 or 5 chases on the bounce. Started a Hunter chase a few weeks back after winning a hurdle and hasn't really stopped since. So only carrying 125 over this. Coral Cup win there for Daniel French for sure. Race 11 is the Champion Chase up next, over 2 miles. Going to be a David Hooley horse. People just didn't pick him. I'm going to go for Hilly Way. Surprise down the bottom of the field. Good luck to David on that one. National Hunt Chase is up next. That's over 4 miles in a very small field. I think it's a 120 handicap. I've got my own Zoo City girl in here. But there's plenty of fallers. Victoria's Rackheath, the only one with a little bit of form, but it's an 11-year-old. I'm sure it will surprise. That win for Victoria's Rackheath was probably a Hunter. There's a big step up from a Hunter's Chase to this handicap. So either Pike's Thatch for David Rowerson or maybe Daniel Garcia for Matt Cooper to surprise us all. Last race of the day is the Fred Winter. My 4-year-old's in here, Alfie Cotton. I do fancy him. Condorcet for Martin Lewson, Super Bowl for Daniel French is not really the form about, but I'm glad Alfie Cotton's finally got some good ground. He's been running on soft, good to soft and heavy, and he doesn't like it, so he may well surprise in that, but a very small field. Alfie Cotton running off quite a low weight. Good luck to me. Well, that's it for me for the day 1. You'll hear us over on the comms. Thanks for all those that entered the competition, which is pretty much everybody. Well done. And I'll pass you back to Martin.
Okay, cheers for that, Stu. Right, this is what I think then. A quick run through what I'll be looking at on day 1. The first race, of course, the Sky Bet Supreme Novices Hurdle. Always a great race to kick off. And this one looks pretty interesting. There's some horses with some decent looking form in there, but you might just overlook the top one if you're looking on Tom, because the horse at the top of the list on Tom is Corridor of Power for Daniel French. And his form doesn't look that impressive, does it? 0-3-4-6 for his last 4 runs, but go back before that and he's won a few group races. It had blinding form at the start of the season. Just seems to have lost its way a little bit over the last few weeks, but I reckon that one could well spring right back to form and get Daniel French off to a flyer. There's no doubt about it that Daniel French is one of the emerging trainers of the season. As for race 2, well, that's the Arkle, and again, the big guns, you'd expect them to be involved in this, wouldn't you? Joshua Sutherland's got the Worm and the Slam, and it's difficult to not think one of those two is going to take it. I think I'll probably just go for the Worm. The Ultimate Handicap Chase is race 3, and this one has been slightly marred by the fact that there's only one horse in the handicap, but there's not really a great deal we can do about that. Yeah, but I've just got a sneaky feeling for Craig Beckwith in these handicaps, and I think tight will be a good each way bet anyway. Unshipped his pilot last time out, but apart from that, it's got some pretty decent form, so I'm going to go for tight in the Ultima. Champion Hurdle time again, and I think David Hooley is the guy to follow in these, and I'm going to go for Fast Response The Glenfarcical, as Stu likes to call it, over the cross-country course. This is another tricky sort of race with a funny distance of 3 miles 7, funny fences. I quite fancy mine in this Wasted Sunset, but he's just got a tendency to leave it all a little bit too late, and I can picture him coming second or third behind something like probably Persian Tiger for Darren Thompson or something like that, but I think I'm probably going to stick my neck out and go for my old Wasted Sunset to go one better than I expect and give me a win on day one. On to the David Nicholson Mares Hurdle, and Ace Queen is obviously the standout in this, but Cripple Creek Treat has been running well, so too has Victory Coup, so this one could be a lot tighter than people think, but it's difficult to go away from David Hooley in these hurdles, and I'm going to stick with Ace Queen. On to race 7, the Close Brothers Handicap Chase for novices, and again Darren Thompson's got the top one here, Zadad Dash, which looks like he might have a bit of a chance, but Daniel French has been the man to watch this season, hasn't he? And I'm going to go for Stakeholder to take this one. The Neptune Investment Novices Hurdle is next up, and Wally Wombat for John Morgan is the choice for me, simply because I remember the real Wally Wombat all those years ago. What a great horse he was. So Wally Wombat for John Morgan is going to take race 8 for me. Race 9 is the RSA Chase. This is a 3-mile novice chase. Next year's Gold Cup horses, maybe. So we were looking at Joshua Sutherland with things like the Substitute and the Shuttle. But it could be interesting, this one, and I've got a sneaky feeling here for David Robertson's Highlander of Kerry. I think that one might run a biggish sort of race. On to race 10, the Coral Cup Group 3 Handicap, this one, and this one is wide open. Be a top weight meet me at the pub for Joshua Sutherland. I'm not so sure that one ought to be top weight, really. And you've got Persian Princess in this, haven't you, who's won about 6 on the trot, but last week it was a chase, and I'm not 100% convinced that going back to hurdles is necessarily going to be the right thing for her to do, but it'd be fascinating to see if she could win it. But I think, again, Craig Beckwith, who's just done so well in these handicaps, I think his Copper Comic might spring a bit of a surprise. On to race 11, the Queen Mother Champion Chase, the big chase of the day. Of course, we've got the Pretty Boy. He's rated 180, which is a little bit ridiculous to have a horse rated 180. There shouldn't be anything anywhere near 180, really. But he's undoubtedly the best horse in the race. But this is going to be a very interesting race, because John Morgan's got 2 in that likes to go from the front. We've also got Paul Parsons' horse that likes to go from the front as well, that doesn't appear to have a great deal of a chance. So I wonder what's going to happen there, whether there's going to be some throat cutting being done early on and then something else is going to be left to win it. You can just see them setting it all up, really, can't you, for the Pretty Boy. So I think I'm going to go for Joshua Sutherland to take race 11 with the Pretty Boy. On race 12, the year of the National Hunt Handicap Chase, is quite a low rated handicap, this one, so a chance for the smaller trainers to get in a bit of a chance. That's probably why I've got a decent sort of record in this race. I'm not sure whether I'm going to do that well this year, though, as Nicholas Silver doesn't necessarily always run to the best of his form, although he was third in the Fox Hunters here last season, so if he could go a little bit better than that, he would have a little bit of a chance. There's nothing got particularly brilliant form, and I'm gonna go here for my old mate Stu. I think his Zoo City Girl could spring a bit of a surprise and get him on the board on day 1. Race 13, the final race on day 1, is the Fred Winter Juvenile Hurdle, and a surprisingly small field for this. You'd think there'd be a bigger field for this. Daniel French has got the top weight, so he's going to give weight away all round. There's nothing really got that much standout form, and so it's difficult to sort of say what you think might do any good. It could be it could be a lucky last this, couldn't it, where an outsider pops up and takes it. Derek Hinton has popped 2 in, so neither of them look like they've got particularly good form. I'm not even sure anything's won yet, so you've got to be looking at the top weight Super Bowl and thinking, well, I wonder if that one could have gone in the Triumph. So I'm going to be pretty boring and just go for Super Bowl. That's day 1, men, and I shall see you at the start for the Supreme Novices Hurdle very, very soon.